It feels like a tropical rainforest in Chicago this morning, and I don't really know what season it is anymore. I thought it was fall. I thought tomorrow was October, but apparently the humidity needs to be at like a good 75%, going up to 80 something today. So apparently it's August. Maybe it's July. What do I know about time? We're past the new moon, people. We are past the peak of the Virgo stellium, which is great for me because I can't really handle all of that energy coming at me at once. Kind of over it, you know what I mean? Winter. So this week, a few things are happening. They're related though. The things that are happening are that the Virgo stellium breaks up and planets enter Libra. I'm trying to like balance the fact that it's like super humid and warm outside and riding with the windows up so I can do this video. Y'all love me though. Anyways, yeah, so the Virgo stellium's breaking up. I was kind of sick of that, man. Yeah, I mean, okay, no shade to my Virgo people. I love y'all, like for real, I do. Just ask Winter. Everyone I ever loved in my life has Virgo. Thanks, Imani, right? Everyone I've ever loved in my life has Virgo. Like, this is just my life. I love Virgo. It's the way that it is. But also, there comes a point when there could be like too much of stuff, and that's been the theme of 2019. Like, it's like, oh, let's just get a little taste of Cancer. And it's like, no, you don't get a taste. Everything is Cancer. It's like, you know, if you have like a favorite food or something, or like you like something and it's really delicious, and you're like, oh, let me just get a taste of that. And they're like, no, you cannot have a taste. You only get this every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next week. And you're like, wow, that's just too much. Good morning, Tatiana. It's too much. That's what 2019 has been. Like, you think you're gonna get just a little taste of something. Instead, like, you're forced fed it for the next month. And then you're just like, wow, I don't even like that food anymore, right? Like, I don't even like that. Like, everything is cute when you get just a little bit of it. Like, Cancer's cute when you get just a little bit of it. Leo, all you need is just a little smidgen, a little tidbit of it. You know, Virgo, just a little taste, a little Mercury here and there. Except for 2019, it was like, no, that's not exactly what we're doing this year. You're going to get it all at once for a long time. So, somewhat luckily for us, I guess, depending on your flavor, this particular, maybe I should move this here, although I'm trying to drive. This particular stellium of Virgo was short-lived because Mercury's already moved on. So we get a few days this week where everything in Virgo is answering to Mercury in Libra. Isn't that interesting? And then on Thursday, Venus enters Libra. So let's not talk about Virgo anymore. Let's talk about Libra. Let's talk about 2018. How was that for you? How was September, October, November, and December of 2018 for you? How was that? Did you enjoy life then? Did you have a good time? Was it a happy moment for you, or did you struggle? Was it difficult? Was it hard? Particularly, I'm thinking about November into December. Like, that was a real juicy. November 2018 into December 2018, that was a really juicy time. So what were you doing then? What was going on in your life? Now, collectively, for my new followers and new viewers, one of my crazy talents is coming up with these little quippy phrases that offer a great forecast and trend for time frames prior to when they happen. So my phrase for all of 2018 was justice for and by women. Well, we know how that worked out, right? Come November 2018, we had our midterm elections, and we currently have the most women ever in the history of congressional representation representing us in Congress. So the idea that there was justice for and by women, it was like, absolutely, this is what we have experienced as women at the hands of powerful men, and we are demanding justice. Hello, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who did her lovely, difficult testimony in front of Congress back in September of 2018. And then, of course, we did have a great moment of reckoning where women ran in primaries and won in primaries at a record rate. And so now here we are in 2019. Hi, Salma Shar. Hi, Reedy Reed. So here we are at this moment 1 year later, where we are getting our first significant Libra transits since the Venus retrograde of late 2018 and the end of the Jupiter and Libra transit. What is Libra? Let's just clear this shit up right now. Let's just clear it up so that there could be no confusion. All of your friends who keep tweeting about Libra being shallow absolutely doesn't know what they're talking about. Like, it just, like, they don't. Like people try to astro-splain. I made up that word. When people come in my mentions, the professional astrologer who's been studying and practicing for over a decade, like, they come and try to explain some astrological concept to me based on their 3 family members who have Libra, and apparently now their 3 family members get to decide what Libra is. Like, how ridiculous is that? That's how people are actually out here making judgments of, this is how people are actually out here making judgments of astrology. Like, they're determining what astrology is and who you are based on their family members, because their ex was a Libra, and so all Libras must be. But this is how humans do. You know, this is how we are. But that's not Libra. Libra is air. Anytime we're talking about air, we are talking about conceptualization. What does it mean to conceptualize something? It means to create a rational picture of something in your mind. It means to use your intellect to create an idea or story about something or someone. To conceptualize means to create concepts. Concepts are our ideas. They are things. They are the object of the intellect. They are the medium, of the intellect. The medium of the intellect are concepts and ideas. So as an air sign, Libra is talking to us about concepts or ideas. How does this make someone shallow? I don't know what anyone is talking about, just to be honest. I really just don't. So yeah, then we've got the cardinal side of Libra. Imposing is what cardinal signs do. Never met a Capricorn or an Aries. Why is there traffic going this way at this hour? Chicago's dumb. Yeah, so we're talking about imposing ideas with Libra. What does it mean to impose an idea? Listen, I'm gonna tell you what it is, and this is what it is. And if you want to argue with me, you gotta talk to the boss. This is the standard. This is the law. This is the consensus. Here we go. Imposing an idea is consensus. Right? We gather together all of the ideas, and whichever one the most people agree with is the idea we call reality. I'm gonna say that again for you, for the saints in the back who are just walking in late. Have the ushers give you a bulletin for today's program. Yeah, so imposing an idea. Consensus is when we gather together all of the disparate and different ideas, and whichever idea the most people agree with is the consensus, and we call that reality. The example I always give about this idea of reality is that, what is going on? I am like at a complete stop here on the expressway. The concept I always give is that if I go outside and I say, wow, look at this lovely green sky. Oh, no, that's purple. It's purple. Look at this beautiful purple sky. And then here comes all the people, and they're like, wow, you're right. This is purple. It is so beautiful. I love it. And here comes the person who looks at the sky in the middle of the day and says, the sky is blue. That was Virgo, by the way, that walked in the room and said that the sky is blue. But everyone else is like, the sky is purple. You're crazy. What do you mean the sky is blue? Are you nuts? Lock him up. Lock him up, right? Because they're talking about the sky is blue. And in fact, Virgo's probably right. If you measure the visible waves of light and their frequencies, it will come to blue. The calculation will lead you to blue. But Libra is like, we've all agreed that the sky is purple, and so the sky is purple. And we're going to create a law that says that anyone who says the sky is blue is going to prison, right? Now, you see how this has happened in past, right? Let's talk about the whole like flat earth versus round earth. And oh, you think the earth revolves around the sun? Are you crazy? Blasphemy, right? Because everyone agreed that the sun revolved around the earth. I mean, it's obvious to them. Look at it. Look. The sun is revolving around the earth. Duh. So like, they're literally like, we're gonna put you to death. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna, stone you. We're gonna put you in prison and excommunicate you from the church and ostracize you from the community because you out here talking about that the earth revolves around the sun. What do you think this is? A solar system? So this is Libra, people. Libra is about consensus. It is about the thing that we all agree to. How do we codify consensus? How do we impose these concepts? We create laws and rules, and in these laws and rules we say, I know that you have your own I know that you have your own will, your own ambition, your own perception, but unless you conform your will to these laws, unless you conform your perception to this standard, then either you're crazy or you're going to jail, right? I mean, this is how this works. So again, when we come to this moment this week where this is the first time that we have Libra since the end of 2018 and the full moon in Libra earlier this year, since this is the first time, what we're dealing with here is now the Libra story. Every single thing that ever happens in Libra from this point forward is going to reference back to the Jupiter in Libra transit from fall 2017 to fall 2018, and it is going to reference the Venus in Libra while Jupiter is in Libra in September and October of 2018, and it is going to reference the Venus retrograde in Libra from that last quarter of 2018. So it's very important that you think back around that time period and what was the focus for you, what was happening in your relationships with women, what was happening in your relationships in general. Now let's clear something up. Venus is relationships, but when we're talking about air, we're not talking about feelings. We are not talking about romance. We are not talking about romantic sexual intimacy when we're talking about Venus and how it relates to Libra. What we're talking about is the contractual side of relationships. When we are talking about Venus in Libra, we are talking about the agreements that undergird our relationships. What are the explicit, meaning spoken, verbalized, and written agreements that undergird your relationships? And what are the implicit agreements, the ones that are designated by the roles people tacitly take on in relationship? Well, you're the man and you're the woman, you're the top or you're the bottom, right? What are the roles and implicit expectations that come from relationships? What are the explicit agreements and contracts? So we're talking about marriage licenses, we're talking about divorce, we're talking about custody, and family and children. We're talking about arbitration. We're talking about mediation, right? We're talking about, using reason and rationality. Make it make sense. That's a Libra phrase. Make it make sense. So while we won't get a stellium in Libra, we'll get, a few planets in Libra, but we won't get the whole sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars in Libra like we did for Virgo, Leo, and Cancer. But what we are going to get is a Mercury retrograde. Yeah, a Mercury retrograde. The Mercury retrograde does not start in Libra, but most of it is in Libra. Most of the Mercury retrograde is in Libra. Tomorrow, I'm going to be posting my handy dandy Mercury retrograde graphic for the fall 2019 Mercury retrograde. And let me just reinforce and repeat here how this is going back to 2018. I wish I could make this stuff up. I just really wish I could. But it is not my fault that Mercury is going to station retrograde at the same degree that Mercury stationed direct back in November of 2018. I did not make that decision. I did not make the decision for there to be a full moon earlier this year at the same sign and degree that Mercury is going to station retrograde at on October 31st. I didn't make that decision. I also did not decide that Mercury was going to station direct right where Venus stationed retrograde back at the end of 2018. I didn't make those decisions. I don't know who made those decisions, but if you want to take it up with management, that is your prerogative. You can ask for the manager. I don't know who's going to come, but good luck. So I personally am not interested. Me, I can move on, do something totally new. We really don't have to go back and revisit all of those things. I've had enough. Can we just go forward? But apparently not. So Alyssa asked, what degree will it be at again? Mercury is going to station retrograde at 17 Libra. Venus stationed direct at 16 Libra last year. No, retrograde. I lied. Don't write that round. Don't write that down. Mercury's going to station retrograde at 3 degrees Scorpio. So 3 degrees of fixed sign is always wow, do we have to do 2017 again? Do we have to do this whole eclipse thing again? Why do we keep hitting up 3 and 4 degrees of fixed signs? What is the deal? It's your president's fault. And again, you can take that up with management. It's his chart. It's his fault. So Mercury's going to station retrograde at 3 Scorpio on October 31st. November 20th, Mercury's going to station direct at 17 degrees of Libra. That is hitting up all of that giggly block blang from the end of 2018. Woo! So you got to check your Libra house. Where's your Libra house? Where's your Libra house? Do you know? You should come talk to me about it if you don't. And we can work it out and figure it out and see what's happening, what's going on, and why, what, when, where, and who. That's really it. Venus enters Libra on Thursday, and so this whole Venus now is the planet that's the boss. It's been Mercury, and Mercury has been according to the evidence, studies suggest, the latest polls, evidence-based, the numbers don't lie. That's been Virgo. Virgo's been 1 + 1 = 2. Are you stupid? Do you know math? Have you seen my spreadsheet and my graphs and my data? Have you seen my spreadsheet? Did you read the numbers? Do you know how to count? That's Virgo. But Venus is you could take it to court. If you if you're having an issue here where we can't agree on the numbers, we can't agree on the data, we can't agree on how to interpret this, we need to go to court. We got to see a judge. We're going to take it to the highest court in the land, and we're going to have a hearing. I'm filing a motion, right? This is Libra. Libra is the standard is the law, and the law is going to tell us whether or not 1 + 1 = 2, or whether or not 1 + 1 = 75. You see how silly humans are? But this is the way it is. You know, the thing that you can't account for is people's perceptions and their experiences and their identities. And who knows what keeps people from seeing 1 + 1 = 2? And what if 1 + 1 really does equal 75? If that's what we agree to, then that's what it's going to equal. And so now anybody who would come and say 1 + 1 = 2 is obviously going to jail, because now it's illegal to even say 1 + 1 = 2. And so, like, this is how stupid humans are, right? This is like the things that we argue over, and these are the things that we deal with, and things are the things that we do. Oh, they're going to Rosh Hashanah service. How nice. Happy Rosh Hashanah to all of my people of Jewish religion and ethnicity who are practicing. Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with. Venus is kind of like the interesting thing about these stelliums is that they've been in the signs of the quicker moving planets, right? So the Cancer stellium was in the moon sign, the Leo stellium was in the sun sign, the Virgo stellium was in the Mercury sign. And so what you get is like each of these planets taking turns, kind of like being the boss of the sky, right? So when we had the Cancer stellium, it was your mama and your body and women. And then it was Leo, it was like men and bosses and your daddy. And then when it was Virgo, it was the concerned scientists of America, and, you know, scientific integrity, the data and the climate scientists and the pollers, the people who do the polls. So now we're not going to have a stellium in Libra where all the planets are answering to Venus, but Venus does get to be the planet in its own sign. So in some ways, relationships in general, women in general, legal proceedings and court in general, contracts and negotiations. I'm thinking of situations where you have to like file a grievance and there's a particular protocol and rules and standards, or you got to talk to HR. I think one of the larger themes here around Saturn and Sagittarius with ethics and integrity and accountability is that when Libra comes along, now we're talking about process, protocol, and standard for filing grievances or making notice of ethical violations and things like that, whether that's in your work. So this is what really, I mean, the women in Congress, just watch for them to step up in these impeachment proceedings. As much as I'm not really messing with Kamala Harris like that, I really want to see her lawyer the hell out of these Trump people. I just really want to see her do her best, like, prosecutor, you know, act, because they can't deal with these women who, like, make sense, right? So we're going to see women stepping up in these impeachment inquiries and proceedings. We're going to see this thing move really quickly, and this Mercury retrograde is going to be like really defining the progress and movement of these proceedings. Mercury doesn't enter its retrograde shadow until next week, but as long as Mercury is transiting Libra, we're in this territory of the fact that Mercury is not even going to leave Libra, meaning complete its backward, forward, in and out transit of it until December. So Mercury is, you know, really taking us on a long, long, long ride here. And grab your seatbelts. If you want to talk about how your 2018 connects to the end of this year, I suggest you book the forecasting and predictions reading, because that's where we talk about the transits that I write about on Twitter and speak about on videos. It's where we talk about it together in a specific context and timeline of your chart. You can go to thepeoplesoracle.com to book that reading. Click book a reading. What else did I want to say? I have 3 audio pre-recorded tarot readings left. I'm going to post a new link so that you can get those, because the link for them expires today. What else? I still have some spots left for New Orleans, so if you've been waiting, I know at least one of you has been waiting to purchase your spot and reserve your place in our workshop. Please do it. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right. Happy Monday, people. Oh, man, of course I'm going to get stopped by a train. This is just a whack Monday. Look at that. Bye, y'all. Hope y'all have a great day.